Today we're going to be taking a look at this dash cam sent to me courtesy of DBPOWER, and they sell products on Amazon, so check the link in the description if you're interested in this dash cam. So let's get right to the meat of it. First of all, how is the resolution? How is the picture quality? Picture quality is excellent on this dash cam from DBPOWER. It will shoot up to 2K resolution, but all my examples here will be at 1080 30p, because that's what this YouTube project file is going to be, so no real sense in showing you the 2K. I will say the 2K video looks very crisp and sharp and colorful, and if you wanted to use that as your primary recording format, you would definitely be pleased with it. Colors are great in daylight, in low light, at nighttime. It performs very well. As far as the 1920 by 1080 30p goes, that also works very well, and I've been able to freeze frames and zoom in on license plates and things like that and still keep the detail. Also, just driving around, the 150-degree wide-angle lens is going to capture everything you want to see as you're driving around, whether you get in some sort of accident or something unusual happens while you're driving. You're definitely going to catch it as long as it's straight in front of you, obviously, with this dash cam. One particular day when I was driving to work, I actually had a deer run out in the road in front of me, and I probably should have had the wipers going a little faster than I did because the windshield looks a little bit messy with all the raindrops on there. But as you can see, the deer kind of jutted out in front of me and kind of fell on the road a little bit. So I hit the event button on the dash cam, saved the file to the event folder, and I was able to mark it very easily with that button. So that function definitely works very well. And if you jar the camera or have any sort of accident, it's going to automatically save files to that event folder also. So that function seems to work pretty good. I had a few of them turn up in there from hitting potholes and bumps and things like that. So you can adjust the sensitivity of the G sensor if you want to. I had mine set to medium and it didn't really capture too much, so that seems like a good setting to keep it on. As far as the picture quality goes, I was very impressed with the HDR function. Seemed to capture the bright sky and the darker ground footage very well. And really no complaints on the video quality of this dash cam. It's excellent. Gonna capture in high resolution all sorts of details and faces, license plates, whatever it is you want to capture with your dash cam, you're gonna be able to do so. So let's take a look at some of the features from this dash cam by DBPOWER. If we flip it over, we're gonna be in our menu here, and we get there by just hitting this menu button. And your first item is gonna be your video resolution. And if we go into this menu, you hit the OK button, and right now we are on HDR 1920 by 1080. So you can cycle through a bunch of different resolutions, the highest one being this 2560 by 1080 30p, and then there's also a 2304 by 1296 30p, and then 1920 by 1080 45, HDR 1920 by 1080 30, and 1920 by 1080 30, 1280 by 720 60, so if you wanted to slow some stuff down, and 1280 by 720 30, and then you cycle back to the 2560. I've shot everything for the review on the 1920 by 1080s, the 30p, the HDR, because that's what's going to be outputted on YouTube. So if we back out of that, we'll hit the menu button again, and that's going to go to your record cycle. Record cycle means it's going to record in 3 minutes, or 5 minutes, or you can turn it off. So it's a 1 minute, 3 minute, or 5 minute clip that it will record in, or you can turn it off. Next is image quality, and image quality is basically a detail setting. There's fine, super fine, and normal. The default setting is super fine, and that's pretty much what I left it on. Mic setup is basically just on or off, and the audio on here is actually pretty good. Stamp settings, that's gonna basically just be what you want included in your timestamp in the screen. So you'll have date, time, driver ID if you have something like that. So definitely a nice feature there. Your G sensor settings, that you can either set to low, medium, or high, or off. Time setup is going to be exactly what it sounds like. You're just going to set your date and time in there. And then your volume, your beep settings, and auto power off settings, backlight settings, drive time warning. That's an interesting feature on this dash cam here, and you can set different warnings for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or 4 hours, and basically it's going to just tell you you've been driving for a long time and you should take a break. I ended up turning it off because it was kind of annoying, I thought, but it was also kind of cute too that the thing will just talk to you and say maybe you should take a rest, you've been driving for a long time. So it was an interesting little feature they put on here. This is the event folder, and I have 3 clips that are marked in here. So if you hit this center button here with the warning symbol, or whatever you want to call that, exclamation point, that's going to save all your files to this event folder. So if we back out of here, you'll also see that the normal folder, and if we go inside of there, there'll be a bunch of clips in this folder, and yes, you can play them back on the screen here as I've demonstrated. So let's just play this one. It's me driving in the snow. So that basically goes over the menu items of this dash cam. It has the night vision mode. It seems to work very well in low light. I'll give you an example of some low light footage here. I've tested it in various conditions: snowy conditions, rainy conditions, daylight, bright sunlight, overcast, and the video is excellent on this dash camera. So for anyone interested in the actual specs sheet from the manual, here it is, and if you want, you can pause it right here and see what it says. If you're looking for any particular specification, I suggest you check it out right here. It will record onto up to a 64 gigabyte micro SD card. The micro SD card is not included, so you will have to supply your own. The battery in this dash cam is basically just for short bursts of use. You're not going to want to power this dash cam all day. That's what these USB cables are for. And it also comes with your cigarette lighter adapter, so you're definitely going to want to power this off your car. It comes with one long USB cable and one short USB cable depending on your needs. Setting up on the dash is very easy. Not a problem there. You just kind of stick it to it, tighten the suction cup, and you're good to go. Didn't have any problems with it falling off or anything like that, and pretty easy to adjust it. So if you're in the market for a dash cam, this Car Elf camcorder from DBPOWER is definitely a good option. I was very impressed with this one. I've tested 3 dash cams, all of them from DBPOWER actually, and I think this one is actually probably my favorite. Even though I did test a 4K resolution dash cam, kind of like this one a little bit better. I'm not exactly sure why. Mostly because I'm mostly recording in 1080, so the 4K isn't a big draw to me. And this one does record in 2K, so does record in a higher resolution than the 1080. But I find that for now, the 1080 is fine for me. So I definitely recommend this dash cam from DBPOWER, and I want to say thanks again to DBPOWER for sending me this dash cam for review. If you're in the market for a dash cam, this is definitely a good option for you. It is inexpensive and it has all the features I think you would want in a dash cam. So if you're interested, definitely check the link in the description, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up. If I missed anything, hit me up in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be having more tech reviews, more quadcopter reviews, all kinds of different products. So stay subscribed and you'll stay up to date on all my latest videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you in the next video.